I have to tell y'all about this insane turn of events that just happened. So there's a Qigong class here at Third Eye Meditation Lounge, this little place that I've been practicing breath work, and I've gone to a couple of Qigong classes. Came out today, different teacher on the schedule, and there were several of us gathering because the door wasn't unlocked.
That was a 90-second reel that I posted on a Thursday last month. This Qigong class didn't have a teacher. Someone asked me if I would lead the class. I said yes on the spot without a whiff of hesitation, which by the way is not my default response to things. I'm a planner, I like to feel prepared, and this was not one of those moments where I had the chance to do that. And after class, the students hugged me and then asked me for my Venmo so that they could pay me for leading the class in this beautiful, well-known studio here in Austin. And this was my first time leading a class in a studio and my first time getting paid for the work that I do. And I want to tell you the rest of this story because it's not just about this moment where the conditions aligned perfectly for me to just step into my Dharma, but it was the 2 years leading up to this Thursday that made everything possible. So at the start of the year, I had a vision for my life. I was going to launch an online coaching business, and I even said it out loud on the microphone at the DAC retreat, and I felt like this was a sure thing. I was definitely doing this. I had copious notes in my Notion. I have offers written out, pricing tiers, launch plans. I even hired a coach to help me with positioning and marketing strategies. I booked some retreats. I wrote landing pages. I rewrote them and then wrote them again. And every week, a new version of the plan emerged, and every plan looked like the answer until I just sat with it for a few days, and then for whatever reason, I'd end up hating it for one reason or another, and it just seemed like I couldn't get any traction with what I was doing, no matter how hard I pressed forward or how much I focused. So every plan I made ended up getting shelved, and every offer I designed ended up getting redesigned and rewritten. And I even canceled one of the retreats that I had booked, a Qigong retreat in Italy. I stepped back from a mastermind that I was part of. I rewrote my coaching offer 3 times in 3 months. And I'm like, what is my hang up here? Like, I'm disciplined, I'm driven. Every moment of clarity just seems to present some kind of a gap that I just couldn't figure out how to cross. And what I couldn't see at the time was that there was something happening underneath all that planning and strategic in my head kind of thinking that was happening. This was something that my mind couldn't really admit to yet or understand yet. And that was this, that my plan actually needed those gaps that only God could bridge for me. But what I didn't realize was that all the while, I was already doing all the work that was necessary to make me ready when those gaps appeared. So while my plans kept falling apart, one thing kept showing up, and that was me. My bare feet in the grass, practicing Qigong every single day. And I started practicing Qigong in early 2024. I was almost always alone, usually with a YouTube video that somebody had sent me or that I had scrounged up. And I would spend 10 to 20 minutes every day just practicing. Eventually I'd get a little bit longer sessions that I memorized. And it was just part of my morning. This is like my ritual, right? My morning rituals to prepare me for the day. I didn't know its significance beyond just my own personal grounding practice. I just had this deep knowing that I needed to keep doing it. And so I practiced on the Greenbelt in Austin, at the DAC retreat in Lockhart, in Aruba at Sunrise, in rural farmland in Pisac, Peru, on the highest peak of the Cyclades in Naxos, Greece, in my mom's backyard, in my own backyard. And last fall, just for a little backstory, I had decided to get certified as a Qigong instructor. I had attended Zoom classes with others around the world. I put in 100 hours of practice over 4 months, and I started making my own guided videos on YouTube just as a way to give myself some practice with the teaching process. So I was teaching classes that I designed myself alone to a camera, and then I would edit the footage and I would upload the videos, and most of the weeks, I didn't even know if anyone was really watching these. I mean, I could tell by the numbers. It was okay, you know? But there was a part of me that felt like I should be doing more, building the business actually, you know, launching the offer, making some money. And there was this other part of me that kept showing up to the practice anyway, just day after day, bare feet in the grass, face toward the sun. And then while attending a business mastermind retreat in Peru in May, something cracked open. And I had this impromptu opportunity to teach Qigong in the Sacred Valley with a group of entrepreneurs that I just met, and they felt the energy that I had been cultivating alone for 2 years. And one guy who grew up in a martial arts school said that he couldn't believe that I had been practicing like this for so long, so consistently, all alone. And then later he literally thanked me for my practice, which felt so good. And this was the first time that I felt the difference between practicing for a camera and practicing in community. And when I came home from Peru, I knew that my work was not meant to be online. It was meant to be in person, in my neighborhood, in rooms that I couldn't even know existed yet. So when I walked into that Qigong studio that Thursday in May, I wasn't walking into a random opportunity. I was walking into a room that I'd been preparing for without knowing.
There were several of us gathering because the door wasn't unlocked, and 5 minutes after the start time, we still don't have a teacher, and we're all kind of chatting, and I had mentioned that I was a certified teacher and that I would love to teach more. I was just talking to this one girl, and then when we realized we don't have a teacher, another girl goes, well, would you teach us? Would you lead the class? Like, I'll go ask if they'll unlock the studio. And long story short, she got them to unlock the studio. I led a class in the studio with some people that had never done Qigong before, some people that come to this class all the time. And I handed it off for another girl to close with a meditation. And we had the best time. And also, they paid me. I made $45 and I didn't even have to try. That was like so cool. So that Thursday changed something for me. Not because of the money, because $45 isn't a business, but it was because that room that I'd been trying to design in all my Notion pages had appeared on its own. And because of my practice, I was ready for the moment. And in the weeks since, I've stopped trying to launch this business that I had been planning. I've started doing the actual real work that wants to be done. Like I feel what I need to be doing, and it's about building community and creating Qigong opportunities here in Austin. So I'm hosting free Qigong gatherings in my neighborhood. I'm focusing on building community, and I'm designing paid offers like a backpacking and Qigong trip in Colorado with my friend Whitney. We're going to be doing that next summer. I'm also bringing Qigong to the corporate world through some bespoke experiences that I'm designing with community directors, retreat leaders, and maybe some other consciously minded founders in the Austin area. So I'm still, going to the local studio every week just to try to keep learning. And what it's coming down to is that I'm publishing, but not with this perfectly packaged big launch or anything like that, but just by showing up again and again. And I'm starting to see that when I show up to the work like this, with this mentality of just like following my desire for the practice, the resources and everything I need are going to show up as well. That's where God comes in to fill in that gap. Those gaps were meant to be there all along. And what I've realized through all of this is that all this time, I wasn't practicing to build a business. I was just practicing Qigong because I love Qigong. And that turned out to be exactly what made me ready. So if any of this resonates and you're even have thought about doing Qigong, I'd love to stay connected with you. And the best way is through my Fresh Qi newsletter. It's where I'm just sharing what I'm learning, what I'm practicing, where I'm gathering, and you can sign up at amberlgray.com. I'm also still putting together free Qigong videos on YouTube. And if you're in Austin, come to a free neighborhood gathering sometime soon. They're free, and we just get the bare feet on the grass. You can just come breathe with us. So thanks for watching.